Most of the client work that I end up doing is for social media, so I thought it would be a good idea to share some of my favorite gear that I like to use to create that content. First things first, let's start with the camera. Right now, I'm recording with my main camera. It's a Canon 5D Mark IV, and I have it on a tripod that I like to use too as well. So right here, this is my Canon 5D Mark IV, and the lens that's on here is a 24 to 105. I find this lens to be my favorite go-to just because of the zoom capabilities on it, and it's also mounted onto the Manfrotto tripod that is very sturdy and versatile too as well. I have a cage here on the camera, so with that cage, if I'd like to flip it vertically, especially for social media, that works great. I also like to use the Canon 70-200 f2.8 lens. This is good for detail shots. Say I'm doing an event where there's some signage or an environment that has a little extra detail that I'd like to capture. Normally what I'll do is I'll go around with my 5D Mark IV and the 24 to 105 and get gimbal shots or anything that kind of is a little bit wider, shows a bit more of the action. And then what I like to do is get this set up on the tripod and hold off on some shots where there's no movement at all. And I find that's good for having a nice mix up in between still shots and movement. This is my go-to lens for the close-ups, and it's worked perfect for the last couple years. Another camera that I like to use is just a drone. This is great for establishing shots, showing a little bit more of the environment. So if the project fits, we will bring a drone to capture some extra footage. I also recently been playing around with using this drone as a gimbal almost. Now with the drone here, the camera's right here. And when it's on, this is basically acting like a gimbal stabilizer. So I've been playing around and using it indoors to get a nice wider shot, and it's been working really well, and I like that it's a 4K quality, so when I crop in, it doesn't lose too much quality. Another thing I like to use is a GoPro. This is great for adding an extra angle to a video. It's good for time lapses and things like that. You can zoom in and zoom out on it, so you can get whatever look you want from this, and I find it's easy to match with my other cameras too as well. I also like to use this as behind the scenes, so if I'm working with a client or I'm working on a project, I can set this up somewhere on a time lapse or a video and be able to take that footage to create behind the scenes. Now for lighting, I like to use the Aperture 120D, so I also am using that right now. So it's set up right here. You can see that's the softbox there. And this is my go-to key light for most shoots if there's no available lighting or the lighting situation isn't great. I also have this Riglet light up here too as well on a C-stand that I've used sometimes. And I'm actually currently looking to invest in some smaller lights because I need a couple more. But this is what I've been using for the last little bit. It's an Aperture ALM9. The only thing with this is now it's broken down a lot, so I had to tape it. And I used to be able to put blue and orange gels in here, but over time they've broken down. So it's about time to just get a new, smaller light. This is great to mount on top of your camera, especially for those low lighting situations. And if you're a Canon user, you know how your camera acts in low light, so more lighting, the better. So now the next thing, tripods and gimbals. So you saw the tripod that my camera is currently on right now. This is a Manfrotto. This one's just a little bit smaller than this one. In a pinch, I can use this too as well, or get a second camera set up on another angle with it. I also have a gimbal here too as well. This is good if you're following somebody while they're walking and talking, or if you're at an event or a location, you can get some great steady movement like you see in real estate videos or anything like that. And this works really well for speed ramping, where I can speed up a certain portion of a clip and slow it down to really emphasize a certain part of a video. Speaking of speed ramping, I made a video a couple weeks ago on that, so feel free to check it out. So you can see how I use some gimbal shots and we're able to speed ramp them to create an interesting visual effect. I also like to use this iPhone gimbal. If we're focusing on using an iPhone for the shoot, this is great for stabilization. Basically does the same thing as the other one, but for an iPhone. Another thing here is I have a backpack, so this is great for packing up a lot of gear. This is my larger backpack. I don't even know if you can see it all in the frame. Or if the shoot's a little bit smaller and I don't need to bring so much and I'm a little bit tight on space, businesses that we shoot inside can be tighter. So this is great for a little small minimal kit, just a tiny backpack. And the last things I want to touch on here is microphones. So sometimes we'll use this shotgun microphone just on top of the camera. If we don't need any clear, crispy audio, this is something I like to use to just get a better sound if I'm outdoors or indoors or whatever that might be, and we're not using a lav mic. Speaking of lav mic, I have one on here right now, and you could see in my camera shot earlier that it's on top of this camera. So that's how you're hearing this audio currently. So this here is the Rode Wireless Go 2, and that's what I have in my pocket right now that's feeding the audio through here. It comes with another microphone, so this is great for getting 2 audio streams. It also has these little mini dead cats that you can put on top, and this is really good if you're outside on a windy day, but it really helps the sound, and I really like how compact and small this microphone system is. The last thing here is a Zoom handy recorder mic. This is good if I'm on the run and gun, just need some audio. Usually I throw this in my bag in case I forget anything and I need to get good audio. This will help ensure that I get that audio. It also has an area where I can plug in a lav mic. So like with this setup here, I could plug this into this mic and be getting the same feed. Only thing is you have a little memory card in here that you'll have to sync up in post, but it's no big deal. And I find it's good if you're in a pinch or if you're trying to create a specific sound design in a video. So by no means do you need all this camera gear. These are things that I found that really helped me create for clients and even for myself over the past couple of years. Don't get too caught up with getting the perfect gear. The best camera that you have is the one that's on you. I just wanted to create this video to show you what I'm using, and if you're thinking about investing into a piece of gear, hopefully this video helped you with that idea. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, leave them down in the comments below. I'm the Creative Fro, keeping you in the know. I'll see you next time for another video.